Yeah.
Of Japan in a beautiful
Big Rena place.
Head bigger than Beyonder, and it's only right the crypto wonders, rhyming off the ninth wonder. And what God create, let no man put asunder. Make the raindrops fall, vainglorious with the thunder. I mean though, it's simple, and peep the lingo. Dame una taza de cafecito. You always wanna stake up your hex for 4-5, but then you be happy, look at your wallet, ay que lindo. Signify the greatness of hex, you wanna beautify. All the haters sick and upset, they wanna vilify. Purple rain, Lake Minnetonka, they need to purify. All they do is lie to the people, they're not dignified. Who am I? I'm only the leader of my own enterprise. Teaching kids how to succeed, they need to multiply. You're too weak to stomach the truth, you're not fortified. You and I, Vibes Entertainment, my first company. A company started a dream, a little mustard seed. Can it be so simple indeed? You have to trust in thee. I'm on the scene, ferocious and mean, and make the bells ring, ding ding, sounding like you up and sing sing.
Well, for starters, you have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
What's going on, everyone? It's the Crypto Wonder, your host of the Crypto Wonder podcast. Hope you're doing well, as always. Let's get right into it. So, there's a lot going on in crypto. There's so much going on. And we're just going to highlight a few things, like almost just a couple things. I'm going to start by talking about just, recently I've been going hard at third party projects that want to come onto PulseChain and things like that. And I don't know these people personally. Like I said, it's not personal. It's just business. It's not personal. It's just business. Because I understand what PulseChain and what PulseX, what Hex. I understand what these things are, especially with Hex and soon to be PulseChain and PulseX. So if I'm in a position where I have to, well, not have to, but I'm willing to exchange these tokens for something else, it better damn well be worth it. That's the bottom line. If I'm exchanging, swapping, whatever you want to call it, something that I have for a service that you think I might need, your service better damn near be just as good, if not better, than what I'm holding. That's my attitude. That's my mindset. And I don't care who thinks about whatever and who disagrees. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Because we all have to exist and do what it is that we do to make our way on a daily basis. Whether if you're alone, to provide for yourself, and if you're not alone, to provide for yourself and for others. So whether people, agree with what you're doing in crypto or not, it doesn't matter, because it's a solo sport. This is one of the things in crypto that affords us the opportunity to independently and freely, quote unquote, decide on what we want to use crypto and how to use it, whatever, right? I don't expect people to understand and buy into my thoughts and perhaps even philosophy with crypto. I'm not saying stuff to, I just realize that there's certain things that I've been through with crypto that have not been beneficial to me, mistakes that I've made, and I just share my experience. Instead of being selfish and keeping them to myself, I decide, let me speak about it. Because you don't know who may need to hear it. You don't know how far the message can land, like which ears this message could land on that just might have needed to hear what I had to say and thwart them from experiencing some crazy, having some type of adverse, harmful experience, losing their crypto and losing their money. It's about sharing and informing people. Listen, seriously, like be smart about what you're doing, right? Be smart, because you owe it to yourselves to be smart, especially if we're being presented opportunities that do not come by very often. For me, this is a once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime. Like you for people who have to like understand, right? When you're talking about these things with sacrifice. In the financial stocks, legacy equity world or whatever, they call certain things insider trading, right? Insider trading, illegal, blah, blah, blah. But that thing just goes on. We just don't know about it. When they get together behind their different activities, events, it could be behind in a boardroom somewhere. It could be on a freaking golf course. It could be wherever. There's insider trading taking place because human beings are complicated and going to do what they do. But for the public, it's illegal. But behind closed doors, as long as it doesn't leak out and become public, it's occurring. That's what happens. Those are the dark types of activities and corrupt activities that happen in the legacy world. Where if you're not accredited or whatever nonsense rules they have, you are not privy to, you don't get the scoop to be able to get into a company at the ground level. You can't. You don't have the juice. You're too wrecked. You're too poor. You have no influence. You have no power. So you don't get that information. You're not connected well enough. Flip it to here on this side of the pond. Like with crypto, it's a totally different strategy and mindset you have to apply here. You have to get rid of a legacy style of thinking and embrace a different style of thinking with crypto, where you have a sacrifice period that's not a secret, right? It's an attempt for people to really stand for something they believe in. They call it the sacrifice period. So by standing for something, you're giving away your crypto in as a message for example, PulseChain for freedom of speech, for PulseX, freedom of assembly. You want to honor these rights that we have to speak and to assemble by sacrificing your crypto, your time, your energy. They flipped it, and it's ingenious. It's flipped, and it's ingenious because it's not closed doors like these freaking elitists and oligarchs operate. It's not like that. This man is just letting the world know, boom, here you go. But at the same time, he's gatekept. But even through the gatekeeping, the message leaks out. It still comes out the way it's supposed to come out, naturally. You can't force people to know what they don't know. They don't know in time. They'll know in time. For them in due time. It's a process. And it's crazy, right? Because look at how much people are willing to sacrifice. You know what that's based off? Not just because people want freedom to speak and, utilize blockchains, freedom to assemble and utilize blockchains, but because people have seen what the founder of Hex, how Hex has performed, and they use that. They use that. That's used as the example, as the benchmark, as the just basically as a frame of reference to say, oh, wait a minute, look what Hex has done in such a period of time. And you mean to tell me the inventor of Hex is going to create other opportunities? And people who missed out on Hex and who understand and regret they missed out on Hex also have an opportunity to get into more products that the founder of Hex is creating. You have to be an idiot to not think that people are going to take complete advantage and ape in to these sacrifice periods. You have to be a bona fide fool or a hater, plain and simple. You have to either be stupid or be a hater or be just unaware. Just unaware. The people who are unaware, they don't know what they don't know. But those who do know, you see what's happening. You see what's happening. Still being gatekept. Still being gatekept. I saw a thing that there was an article of some sort online being floated around that PulseX, Yahoo Finance spoke about PulseX, which I think is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But check this out with this whole gatekeeping thing, right? Hex is going to be gatekept until it's no longer gatekept. Because it's getting to a point where, because people cannot stop it, people can't stop it. It's going to break down the walls. Hex will break down whatever pseudo barriers that are, erected right now to keep it from being exposed to the mainstream. Those barriers are going to come crumbling down eventually. Eventually. I look at Hex and I compare it to the music industry. I used to be involved with music like 25 years ago, real heavy. And specifically hip hop culture, hip hop genre, whatever you want to call it, right? Hip hop music. And I look at Hex, it reminds me of hip hop because hip hop was born out of a struggle, out of abject poverty, corruption, oppression, and hardship. Hip hop was born in the streets of the crime-riddled, burnt-down South Bronx in the early 1970s, where kids played in junkyards, jumping and flipping off of mattresses, surrounded by buildings that were burnt down, empty. Sidewalks were broken. Kids found a way to grow as flowers in that type of concrete enclave or jungle, if you will, and create what is known as hip hop, to give a message through music to the world, to provide therapy for them and entertainment for the world to capture the madness that was taking place at the time. You have hip hop as far as what's in the mainstream, top 40, Billboard charts, top 200. You have the music that lands on those charts that touch the ears of the masses. And then you have subculture or underground music related to hip hop. And I used to always more or less be in the underground scene because what became popular started from the underground. So a lot of times, by the times it hit the radio waves, we already heard it much sooner than before it even got to radio for the masses to hear. Think about what Hex was created out of. Corruption in cryptocurrency. The oppressive and corrupt nature and activities that take place in cryptocurrency. Why do we find artists, musicians, even anthems, have heard anthems from Hex, have this type of hip hop kind of feel to it? Because there's a correlation there. It cannot be dismissed. There's a correlation there. Right? This is about fighting through. When hip hop became commercial, like when it really broke through those the confines and gatekeeping of whatever, when the people could no longer ignore how this musical genre that started in the street of what they used to call the burnt down Bronx, because most of the buildings in the South Bronx were burnt down, literally, riddled with crime, drugs, heroin, whatever you want to call it, prostitution. This thing became a worldwide phenomenon. This hip-hop music and culture became a worldwide phenomenon that was born in the streets of the Bronx. It's international now. What do you think is going to happen to Hex? That was birthed in the mind of one person to address corrupt practices and activities that have been happening in crypto for far too long, for far too many times. That's helping people change their lives. That's helped people change their lives within a matter of just 2 years. What do you think is going to happen eventually? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think whatever powers that be, that think they could keep their feet on Hex to keep it quiet, you think they're going to be able to do that for far too long? You think they're going to be able to do that forever? Like seriously, let's be for real, let's be genuine. Really think about this here. Really think about this, because it's getting to a point where it's going to reach a fever pitch where the sounding of the alarm will be deafening, maddening. Everyone who's already involved with this thing, this community is growing, naturally growing, organically growing. When I look at the grassroots marketing that this thing has done, it's akin to hip hop. Grassroots marketing, putting stickers all over the place, ads on buses all over the world, people sending mailing, promotional items, all like kind of like, with no names, like anonymous. This marketing that's taking place. Folks that are meeting in a conference and then deciding with the first conference that they met to do a worldwide tour in a different country other than their own, because they were inspired by the power of what Hex has created and in the community that surrounds this thing. Do you think these efforts are not going to grow, and each day that passes by is one more day closer to the next all-time high? Is how stronger the network effect becomes. Each day that passes by, the network effect for Hex becomes that much stronger. So it's only a matter of time. Who wouldn't want to invest in hip hop back in the 1970s, 1980s, even the early 90s? We're in the beginning of something happening right now. With not only Hex, but soon to be PulseChain and PulseX, where folks just do not understand how great this can become. They don't understand the chance that's lying before them, in front of them. Like people just are either unwilling to accept how real this is, like how incredible this can be. This is why I say, listen, we understand. I don't really like the whole gatekeeping thing. Sometimes when you think about it too long, it gets annoying, but I don't care about that. Because after a while, when money tends to respect itself. Money goes where it's respected. And money is being respected very well in Hex. Right? Money is being respected very well in Hex. And that's only going to grow. Especially if we're approaching times like now where they say we're approaching a bear market, which is the time where Hex was born, was launched in the middle of in a bear market. December 2nd, 2019 was a bear market. And the first year made hundreds of X's. Really, after the launch. Hundreds of X's the first year. In a bear market. There's no time that's a bad time for Hex. There is no time, whether you're in a bear market, bull market, sideways, no ways, up ways, down ways, whatever ways, there's no time that's a bad time for Hex. That's how groundbreaking this thing is. I mean, what are the messages that we see all the time? Regular people connecting for a common cause. Similar to hip hop. Regular people, regular schmegular people connecting for a common cause, expressing themselves, expressing what's going on in their life, their real lives, expressing real things like even hardship so that they could be able to heal, transcend and grow, and lift one another up. What are we talking about as far as what like you have to be able to see the big picture. You have to be able to see the big picture. Richard is doing fine. Marketing. He's a marketing guru. But what does he say all the time? If you want to see things done, you do it. You do the work. I see him with his the marketing stuff that he wears and puts on and carries and walks around with. I understand. I see right through all that, because he's catering to a populace to attract attention, right? He's trying to attract the attention of people who like stuff like that, who like the gaudiness, the pretentious, the expensive life, high luxurious lifestyle. It's a marketing ploy. But I see right through that, and many people do see right through it. They don't care about that. They just care about what he has to share in his mind, because what he has in his mind has no price. It's priceless. It's priceless. That's why when people tell you they don't care about the Hex price, because it's very that. They do not, the price of Hex doesn't even matter anymore. because it's producing, when you're staking, that energy that you receive, that daily reward that you receive, is something that you cannot put a price on. Right? So this is just to show you that people have to really learn to understand what they own. Learn to understand, to cherish what you own. Learn to understand, to cherish what you have. Because we have to also know things are just unfair in life. There are many people who will never have the chance that you have now, who will never be able to say that they have what you have at the time that you have it. So it's being bestowed upon you for a reason. There are many people who would wish they'd be in your position right now if you hold Hex and you've been staking Hex and you understand the importance of sacrificing for PulseChain and PulseX, etc., etc. To be in this position right now, you know how many people they just, once the veil would just be lifted from their eyes, wipe away that crust of, deceit and programming and indoctrination, take all of that away, lift all of that from your eyes. And once they would be able to see what you see, what we see here, this is more than just about some cult shit. It's not this is about understanding the differences and the things and how things are operating with regards to money and making money and choosing the best alternative out of all the crap that's out here in the world. Out of all the financial legacy or whatever operating nonsense that's available to us, we're picking the best one. We're choosing the best one that fits our needs and the needs of our loved ones for generations to come. That's what this is about. So that's why I have a very, very hard time when I see people coming into the blockchain, and promoting their products and they're promoting their stuff, right? And they want to convince me that I'm going to need them more than they need me. Meanwhile, they want what I have, because what I have, as I already expressed to you, is damn near priceless. Yes, it has a value. It's going to have a value. It has a value, monetary value, of course. That's how markets work. But you understand what I mean. But just by virtue of scarcity, people want what you have. People want to take away what you have. And then the thing about it too is, like, I've seen people do this all the time, and I've even done it, and it was a mistake. Because what was crypto created out of? Created out of financial corruption and oppression. Right? Like, we have a system here that's supposed to be trustless. Why am I trusting people for anything? Why am I trusting people? Is because they have a good mouthpiece, that they could speak well, they could present well. That means shit to me. Because when I write checks, or when I send money to fulfill all my commitments, it's not my mouthpiece that's paying the bills and commitments for me to meet my commitments. It's not my mouthpiece. It's my monetary energy that I work for that does that. So I don't care about what somebody got to say until you show and prove. You know what I mean? Like, until you show and prove, because that's just me. Everything is a risk. Everything is a risk. But I've lost too much to just believe in what somebody's telling me because they speak well, or they're friendly, or they're cool with a lot of people. Who cares? I don't care what you're involved with. I don't care. Time will tell. Time will tell what you're about. So I'm not gonna, take the risk, and that's just me. I'm not gonna take a risk in getting into shit that I just don't even I don't trust. Simple and plain. Crypto is you're supposed to verify, not trust. Verify. Oh, this is what you're about. Verify it. Why do you think people are going so hard with Richard Hart? Like, as far as, embracing his whole philosophy, the product that he has as far as Hex, and soon to be PulseChain and PulseX. Why do you think that people are doing that? Because they've seen what Hex has done, and it's irrefutable, and there's no debating. Who cares who owns the OA? He's not claiming it. Has the OA been malevolent? No. Who cares? Life is a risk. You're going to keep complaining and talking shit, you'll be losing. You're the one that end up with the short end of the stick. Wishing you shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because you have these lofty ideals and morals and ethics that freaking will never materialize and shit like that. Come on, man. Time will tell who's who and what's what. Just like time had to tell what Hex is really. That's it. I'm not playing craps with my financial life, because my financial life and financial standing is not something to play with or take as a joke. I'm not doing that. And just to be real for real, like I'm just okay, we seen what Hex has done. Everyone is just waiting now for the launch of PulseChain. Everyone's just waiting. Because we're waiting. We're like, come on now, like for real. We're approaching maybe 30 days left for PulseX, right? The 25th, January 25th, the thing will end on February 25th, right? So we're approaching 30 days. We got a little over 30 days left for the PulseX sacrifice. But hey, there's a certain pressure that's there too, though, to deliver. That pressure is there. We know it's gonna come, but it's as being real as it comes, that pressure is there. We want to see what's up with that. So you think I'm gonna complicate things even more by throwing money and crypto into other things that I don't even care for, that I haven't even vetted themselves? Like, come on, really? And even if they have, I don't care. The bottom line is this. I'm not going to spread myself too thin in all different directions, this and that and this, and PulseChain didn't even launch yet. And you mean to tell me on top of that I'm going to assume more risk by believing in other third-party stuff going on? No, that's a dub. Not doing it and don't care. Anybody and everybody else could do it. And it doesn't mean that I don't like people and I don't know. It has nothing to do with that. It's about being practical and being real. End of story. That's it. And that's what it's about. And then a lot of people, they talk favor, it's crazy because I've seen just stuff in the community. That's why, look, I'm not with all that, man. Not with all that. And that's why I stick to myself and I do what I do. Because I've seen people just going at each other and this and that and that and this and that. To me, I got no time for that, man. I'm a man of a certain age. I don't have time for indirects and subliminals at one another and all kinds of, come on, man. This is about making money and preserving your wealth and generational wealth. Because the bottom line is this, man. Really, too, also to add, it's about security. You putting your neck out here. Folks those of us who create content and we talk about this, we become targets, man. Because there's a lot of people out here that are unhappy in life. They're unhappy. Right? I'm not going to pretend like everything is joyous and potpourri and everything is strawberry fields, man. I'm not going to do that because it's not. That's not reality. And when you reach a certain level of success, you're going to have the hate, the animosity, the vitriol, the jealousy, the envy soon to follow you. So that people can find any way that they could take away your success from you. And what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I hope you're prepared. Because this is serious. This is not just this, it's serious. Talk about becoming wealthy overnight. As people see you become wealthy, well, what are you doing to secure your interests? Don't make fun of people. You got to be careful how you speak and what you say, man. Attitude, because there's folks out here that are not well either. They're not mentally well. Mental illness is real. You invite uninvited. You will invite uninvited and unwarranted attention. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. For just trying to be, being irresponsible, reckless, and whatever. No, there's no time for that. I'm not about that, me personally. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It's not a joke. You're talking about once-in-a-lifetime opportunities here that could become potentially super prosperous for you in the very near future. And we talk about, 1 to 2 years, perhaps, maybe. And you online, building a fine, you talking all this stuff and stuff. People will definitely start to take interest in you extra. And probably in ways that you do not want and did not welcome. I'm telling y'all. This is how it is over here, man. This is how it is in real life. This is real life. I like to bring it all back to practical terms. For the day-to-day. Regular people. I don't live in a citadel. I live on Earth. It is what it is, man. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you all later. Take care. Peace.